Liquor Talk. Another episode starts now. Welcome right to another edition of the podcast. Happy Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Black History Month. We are coming to you. And also Happy Love Month, ladies and gentlemen. And my guest today is somebody that came back recently. You heard her last month, heard her at the end of the year. She's back for another episode because we had some unfinished business. Joining me from New Jersey is Todd the Matchmaker. How you doing, Todd?
Doing good. Thank you for having me back.
So how has the start of 26 been treating you?
So good. 2026 is going and going and going. Yeah, I can't complain. It's been a year of intention. So far so good. How about yours?
Mine is going so far so good as well. You know, you said it on the best. Is so far it's the year of intention, the year of finally getting shit together, finally getting things together, getting everything coming together. So so we'll dive right into it. So Ty, I need you. I'm opening up like this. I need you to ride for your matchmakers because on a pod match Sunday episode, I recently had a guest say that some matchmakers can be a waste of money. So twofolds. What do you say to that? And how can you tell if a matchmaker is a waste of money?
All right. Well, like everything else, yes, some people are good, some people are not so good. So not all matchmakers are made the same. So I'll say that. Um so how can you tell? The way I work, I'll just say the way I work, and I think that I'm helpful to my clients is it's not only matchmaking, it's also coaching, right? So we talk about what you're looking for, we give you realistic expectations. So I wonder if that person got somebody who just wanted to take their money and really didn't give them realistic expectations. So what does that mean? It's saying, hey, if you're looking for X, Y, and Z, or if you're in a state where it's really hard to match, or whatever it is, you are honest with the person that you're working with and say, like, I'm not able to match you because of X, Y, and Z, or maybe you're just a difficult client. And that also is a thing. So I wonder if that might have been the issue. Or there's just seasons where it's just kind of a lag, and so like be easy on the matchmakers. It's not I say this, right? If it was that easy, we wouldn't be needed.
Yeah, trust
So
me.
if it was that easy, then you would have done it already, right? So it takes us time. Yes, I could see that. That's probably, I don't know what, why did they say? I didn't see that episode. I missed it. So I don't want to talk just not knowing what happened.
They just talked about the struggle of finding love after a divorce because they were up there in age, and they were talking about the struggle of finding love as a 60-year-old after divorce. And I guess the matchmaker they went to kind of wasted their time.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, I hate that for them, but holla at me. Maybe I could help. I'll be honest. That's the other thing. Like, until the matchmaker really tells you what they can do for you, and they just ask you to pay before they talk, that could be another telltale sign that that might not be somebody who is going to be in the trenches with you and be honest with you. So there could be a lot of factors there, but be easy on the matchmakers. Not too much, not too much.
Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't heard that episode, y'all can catch that episode. Y'all go check out the episode. It was one of the release that only the subscribers would know about, because I do drop some episodes where only the subscribers would know that, hey, the new episode dropped already. So, because, hey, y'all
Okay.
gotta be on your game, y'all. So, but that guest was
Hit
hilarious.
subscribe. Hit subscribe. So,
Yes,
you
please
could do
hit
that.
subscribe,
Definitely.
y'all. But that guest was so funny. Coach Deb in California, she's 73 years old, full of energy, man. That
I
lady, y'all
love
need to go
that.
check out that episode. But listen, Ty, has there ever been a client to where where you say you had just to pour up a drink and you had to make it a double because this client is so stressful? Like, on your perspective, what makes a client just so stressful where you just need to pour yourself a drink to help them find a match?
I think the clients that are very stressful are the picky ones, the very nitpicky ones, the like this but not this and that but not too much of that, but this and that. Also, I don't have time, but call me when you yeah. It's those demanding, high demanding clients that really make you say, oh boy. Or if they're asking for things that they don't really have. So usually, what here's the rule of thumb, and I don't want to put myself out of like a job here, but like people are looking for themselves when they're dating.
Mm.
Like that's really it. You're looking for yourself. You're looking for yourself, right? So when you're doing everything opposite of what you're asking for and you want more on top of it, it does make it quite hard to find somebody because you're like, well, you don't even have a car. So why does that matter? Like why are you, Xing people out and when something like that you don't even come with that. So those clients make it really difficult because they're high demanding and or they want things that they don't even
Ladies
possess,
and
which makes
gentlemen,
it
this
really
is
hard to
Look Us
find
Up.
somebody who would have that and want them too. So
Yeah, trust me. I've seen those things, and I've seen that people does 50 million different things of a person, but you tell them what they got going on, you're like, what? You?
yeah.
How in the world make this make sense? Because
Right,
I was
right.
also watching another dating show, Kendra G Singles. You familiar with her?
I am.
Man, I saw this one lady going there. She had about 10 or 11 kids. Talking about some Kendra, I hope to find me a man. But I got 11 kids, but I'm also a sex worker. I'm like, you set yourself up for failure because how many men you know is going to want to deal with a woman with kids? Because it's already against the eight ball. Because guess what? We know you might not have time to find a babysitter because guess what? Now, if it's the kid is like a teenager or an adult kid, that ain't no issue. But the really small ones, they're the issue because they're gonna need your attention, and there's a small chance that baby daddy is still somewhere in the picture.
Yeah, a lot of kids is a lot of responsibility, and not a lot of people will be up for that, right? So I have clients who ask, I don't want to date anybody with kids. Like, I don't want kids, and I don't want anybody with kids.
Mm. Now, have you ever
So,
had the other way around where people have kids and they're like, "Oh, I can't date a man with kids," or "I can't date a woman with
yeah,
kids"?
100%. I've had that. I had clients who, it's like, oh, yes, I have kids, but I don't want to deal with anybody else's, and that that's what I'm talking about. Talking about things that you're asking for that you don't necessarily have, and vice versa. So yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, it's crazy how people are just such hypocrites.
Yeah,
And that's why sometimes it's a struggle in dating because it's like people they'll have these high standards, but they don't look at their baggage and what someone potential has to deal with. They're not evaluating that on their end, and because
right.
it's like you got to ask yourself what man or what woman is going to want to take your situation on because long term your baggage becomes my baggage and or something like that. You're gonna be looking for me to help, long term.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And you just have to really look at it and say, okay, is there at least something, like, am I being fair to what I'm asking somebody to deal with? Is it a fair exchange in a sense? Like, I'm asking for all of this, and I hope you getting ready to give whatever he wants, right? Because somebody could be like, okay, I'm gonna put up with all of this, but I'm gonna need that, and you might be like, oh, I'm not, I don't want to do that, right? So just be prepared to be equally yoked. That's what you need to be. You need to be equally yoked.
Of course, you definitely got to be equally yoked. And what I find is not a lot of people understand that message that you definitely need to be equally yoked, in order to get with somebody, in order to maintain somebody, because you got to be on the same page and on everything. But not a lot of people are willing to do the work. I'm hoping that changes in 26 because we're still 2 months into 2026. So I'm hoping by now that should change because it was so many people just doing all the talking and all the yapping, but nobody was willing to out here coming up with solutions on how to put into work. Because I know some people tell me always, you got to create your own pool or do this, do that, but nobody was out here giving the steps. And if you were, you labeled a pick me or you're this, you're that. I'm just like, why do people got to kill the messenger so much?
Yeah. Yeah. This what so let me in your if you could tell like because I'm still trying to understand the pick me. What does that mean? Like I think I understand what it means, but if I could ask you.
I guess a pick me, and from what I see on social media, a pick me is someone that calls out the
No,
bullshit.
from you.
Yeah, from my perspective and what I
Okay.
see in is someone that keeps it 100 and calls out the bullshit. Like if you're a man and you call out other men on their bullshit, or you let be able to pick me, or you're a simp. And if a woman calls out her fellow women on the bullshit, then you're labeled to pick me as well. I'm just like, I guess people that hold others accountable are labeled as pick me's because you got some people that want to gatekeep the bullshit.
Sure. Okay. All right. That's weird. That's odd. You don't want truth.
And
Truth
it's so
truth
apparent.
means that you're kind of like you're I don't know, like you're
I think it's some people that want to do their bullshit and get
not
away with it.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Because sometimes I'm lost towards my damn self. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, y'all are just out here doing whatever. But
So
who
pick me
knows?
for what?
Pick
I'm
me as in
sorry.
trying to get a woman or trying to get a man.
Okay, so if a man says something that is maybe calling out other men, then they're just saying it so they could get a woman and vice versa.
Yeah, that's what allegedly is thinking. But in
Okay.
reality, it's just people that's keeping it 100.
Yeah.
Because it
Okay.
shouldn't,
Wow.
because sometimes it's just calling out the bullshit regardless of intentions. That's what it should be like,
Yeah.
calling out people on
Yeah.
their bullshit regardless of their intentions of to get a man or to get a woman.
Right. And they probably just jealous that those people are getting the woman or the man. That sounds like jealousy, but okay.
Yeah, it is jealousy out here. I don't get it, but it is what it is.
Okay.
But Toddy, this month is Lovers Month, and Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So, what's the time that somebody did something extra romantic for you?
Boy, that's a good question. I gotta go back in the memory bag. Extra romantic. I don't know. I've had a lot of great romantic partners, any guy. I'm so easy. Like if I'm talking personally about me, I'm just like anything that is thoughtful and considerate and something I like gifts. I'll say this. I like gifts that are intentional. Like not bags and shoes are great. Um, but I like getting gifts where there's a story or it's something that I mentioned in the past and you got it. Like, or it's my favorite X, Y, and Z, and you're just like, oh, I'm taking you to go see this play because you've been, I like intentional things. So any uh former partners that have done things like that I've always find super romantic, so
Hmm.
that's me.
That sounds down to earth, because you got some people out here, they want the Birkin bag, they want materialistic things instead of
Yeah.
gifts with intention.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if you're dating a girl who likes the blings and jewelry and bags and all of that, she might find that super romantic. but look at your face. but I think any gifts that says like it's not that you just went to a store and picked the most expensive thing and it's just like okay, well how does that make me feel like you know me and you've thought of, you know what I mean? You've thought of me, like thoughtful.
Right. Yeah, it's like, definitely the thought that counts. But if you're around here
I've
spoiling
gotten bad gifts.
yeah. And how soon is too soon to be spoiling somebody for Valentine's Day? Like, is there, because there'll be some people that they may meet somebody in the club that night, and then the next day or a week or two, that woman already looking for gifts or something like that, or this man already trying to love bomb them and shower them with gifts. So how soon is too soon to give somebody a gift on Valentine's Day?
Well, love bombing is a red flag, so never love bomb. I don't want to put a certain time frame because it could be a small, like, I think if I meet someone and then a week later you're buying me a Bentley, that's a bit much. Or something like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, like, say you started dating someone a month ago and Valentine's Day is next month, and I think a nice low key gift just to say like I like you. It could be a little expensive, but nothing too like nothing that says love bombing. And then I would never put like a time frame on it, because if it's coming from you and it's coming from good intentions and you want to give it to the person, there's no right or wrong. You know what I mean? If it's just like, yeah, I really like her, I want to give it to her, you shouldn't not give it to her because it's like, oh, too soon, it's not 3 months yet, it's not you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, if you want to do it and it's good intention and it's coming from the heart, and no matter what happens next month, you're still like, hey, I'm glad I gave it to her because I wanted to, then do that. But don't love bomb. Don't go too extravagant, because that feels too soon, because that may start getting into a very dangerous territory where you got to keep it up.
Yeah, and listen,
So
that is
unless
very
you can,
dangerous.
do your thing. So
Yeah, that's very dangerous to be keeping that up because it can be costly. So, my suggestion would be out there, if you're just meeting somebody and y'all hit it off and you want to do something to them, get them something simple like a box of chocolates and some flowers, something simple.
something easy, something simple. But it's all about like what do you want to get her? Like, it's like, I don't even know her, so I don't even know why you would go so extravagant. You
Hmm.
barely know the person, so if it's a very new relationship, so just keep it small and low key. Yeah. Then don't stress over Valentine's Day. Goodness
Yeah, it's
gracious.
not. And
Like, at this point,
Why
it's
people
it's just a
stress
nice time to acknowledge the person you're with and to take that time. Other than that, it's like it's another day.
It really is, and there's more important things to stress over, like Black History Month. That's what we're in right
Hello.
now because that's a little more important than Valentine's Day. Because you got
Exactly.
365 days in the year. Because I think this year is a leap year, so I'm not sure if this is a leap year or not. But whenever there's a leap year, it's 366 days. But you have 365 other days to show somebody love. You could buy somebody, your woman or your man, their favorite chocolate or their favorite sentiment. If they don't like chocolate, give them a little memento or a teddy bear or something, something
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
But don't kill your bank account because I guarantee you, the people that could afford Bentleys, they not around here buying people Bentleys on Valentine's Day.
Exactly. That, and like I said, you're gonna have to keep that up.
Yes, and you're gonna have to keep that up, and you don't want to do that because then you're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, I did this, I did that." Well, that's
And
because
she used me, did she? Or did you just give it to her and she took it like anybody else would have?
And that's the one thing us men that gotta stop doing is leading with money. Because you know what? If you lead with the money, guess what they're gonna expect? They're gonna be coming to you for everything, if you lead with money. And I think not a lot of men understand that. They won't around here talking about something, oh, you need to give this woman some money, you need to give this woman this, you need to give this woman that. Y'all done lost y'all damn mind. I'm frugal. I'm sorry. The only people that's getting money out of me are the ones that are we in a committed relationship and we're grinding together and we're building something together. Just be giving woman money for her attention for what? No,
No, not for her attention. No.
no. And there are some women out there that will talk about that. They will be like,
Oh, am I a pick me? Oh Lord.
"You
I'm like,
ain't no
wait.
damn pick me."
Oh Lord. Go ahead, sorry.
Hell no, you ain't no damn pick me. But there are some people that will be like, "Oh my god, he did this, so you did that," and it's like, you know what? It's not. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not a pick me to call out the bullshit.
No, it's not. Uh,
It's not. So if men shouldn't lead with money, what are some things women should not be leading with if they're not trying to maintain that?
well, I guess the obvious, the sex, right? Don't leave with that. Don't leave with that. And I also like I was having a conversation with a friend and I was like, one of the things that I'm learning is that people are some people. I'm learning that some people are just bored. Like they don't want to date. They really are just bored. And so and I'm just going to talk about women. So if you're bored, and sometimes it's nice to have attention, and so but that can again get into a territory where somebody does start like liking you and feeling you, and that could like it could spring off a whole host of problems that you really don't need. So unless you're actually feeling the person, just say, "Oh, I just want to be friends," and leave it at that. But if you're flirting all the time and you're cash apping them and they're cash apping you back, and you're like, "Oh, or you're just like leading with sex all the time, yes, I would that's not intentional dating anyway. So if that's not what you're trying to do, intentionally date, then keep doing that, because you're gonna keep getting that. So
Hmm? You'll get.
just things to watch out for.
Yes, and ladies, quit accepting gifts from men you don't like, because you're bored and he's helping you out.
Mhm.
If you don't genuinely like that man, don't waste that man time, because when that man realizes that you don't like him, you're gonna make it harder for the next woman that actually likes him. He might start dogging her out, because this generation, I hope people learn how to heal, take themselves out the game, and just go heal and go work on themselves instead of completing the cycle of hurt people hurting other people.
100%. I couldn't have said it better. Yep.
Yes, I'm glad you agree. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk. The more you drink, the better we sound. Take some shots. Take a double shot for our ancestors out there. Take a shot for the people that made America great, which are black people. Without black people,
Hello.
we would not be America. You know what I'm saying? All these MAGA people want to say, oh, make America great again. I'm like, you know what? America has always been great, because America has been riding on the coattails of black people. So we need y'all to be extra black this month. Now, Ty, talk about matchmaking in the black community and how is that important? Because I know you want to talk about this.
Yeah. So one of the things I've noticed is how much matchmaking is not a well known, accessed thing in our community. Um, a lot of that has to do with money, to be transparent. The other is just that we just don't do that. Like it's not something we do. And so when I got into matchmaking and learning more about the communities who that use matchmaking, they're just like it's like regular to them. The Asian matchmaking started within the Asian community, then went into the then traditional matchmaking started in the Jewish community. And so one of the things those communities have in common is that they love, relationship, and marriage is community.
Mm.
So they really like, and then love is like great, but like they started with like, hey, we want to keep the money in. We want to make sure that our name, our legacy grows, our community on this side. So it's evolved obviously from the centuries and generations. So usually they used to bring resumes of their children. This is back in the days, right? So matchmaking is about community, and it's about, so I like find in my work like really talking to black people, and making sure that we just understand that together we go further. And there's nothing wrong with interracial dating at all, but I'm talking about like black love
Yes.
is something that you want to preserve. And I always notice that when if you look at other cultures like the Asian culture, like the Jewish culture, it is quite natural for them to talk about dating within their race, within their religion, within their community. And then when we do it, I like it always feels like, ooh, but why? It's like, why are white people so afraid of black love? Ask yourself that question.
Yeah, you know what?
So
And yes, ask yourself that question and then look at the subliminal messaging, because it feels like every other TV commercial or every other TV show, you see a beautiful ass black woman with some square ass white dude, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then of course they always want to highlight the pro athletes who are black with these white girls, but they never show love to the pro athlete, the brother that's a pro athlete, but they got him a black chick, that got him a black ass
right,
family, because they it's further destroying, taking the black dollar out the black community. They
that's
want to
totally
take,
it.
because the black dollar was so powerful at one point in time. That's why they bombed our communities back in those
Hmm.
early days.
Tesla.
It Tesla.
Tulsa.
It was Tulsa, it was
Tulsa. Hmm.
Philadelphia, Rosewood, and some
Hmm.
communities they fucking drowned them. Look at Lake Lanier in Georgia. That was a city called Oscarville. They fucking drowned it. There was some lakes in Alabama they drowned as well. So it's like the black dollar and the black evolving was so powerful. So they would use any bullshit excuse like, oh, this black man was looking at a white woman. Let's go blur down the community, when in actuality, the damn white girl lied. So
Yep.
it's so
Yep.
much shit
Yep.
like that. And us black folks, we need to realize that and take back our black love. Now, if you find love in another race, whoop-de-doo. Congratulations to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. What we
you
do.
know.
Yeah. No. 100%.
No, because a lot of them, they want to feel included. They're like, I'm still pro-black. I'm like, sir, I'm not taking you seriously, because somebody that can't even use your own hair products, and also that person's grandparents might not like your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. I know people who interracially date, and in the beginning dad didn't really approve. It took a lot for like going through all of that, and it's great to go through adversity for love. So, but back to community again, exactly like you said, keeping the dollar within the community.
Mm-hmm.
Why anything that is black love, black community, black anything that brings us together, they try to rip apart. We couldn't, black people couldn't get married.
We really
Why?
couldn't.
Why getting married was such a thing for white? Like, think about those things. And so, I match predominantly black people because I want to make sure that our community understands the power um, of black love and the resistance, but just existing as a black person and loving another black person. And I'm not just talking about romantic, this friendship or any type of coming together is is a threat.
Yeah.
So let's, it's a force to be reckoned with. And a lot of times we give that up because it does get hard. And sometimes unfortunately we eat our own, and we just don't really be mindful of that. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's sad that we do that to our own. And I get it. There's some black folks that aren't going to get it. There's some black folks that are still going to be the one that want to be the token Uncle Sam, or the token for master for the white man. You know what? You do that on your time. You know what I'm saying? We show love to everybody around here, but this predominantly black love over here. And yes, I get I've had other races of people on the podcast, but hey, we trying to grow and elevate. But still, y'all know where home base is.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
So, have you connected with other black matchmakers? Real quick before I mention that, before you answer that, I do want to give a shout out to a matchmaker. I forget her name. Her name ain't coming to me right now, but it was somebody I was supposed to have on. But she it was Miss Kirkpatrick in Texas. It was a black matchmaker in Texas. She recently had a kid. Oh, it was Brooke in Texas. She recently had a kid, and she kind of took a break from the matchmaking thing, so she couldn't be here. So I just want to give her a quick shout out. She was the first matchmaker I had on like during the pandemic times. Like, so I just want to show her some love, because hey, it is what it is. You never thought you never forget the connections around here. So,
Yeah.
so how come? How, have you connected with other black matchmakers, and what's the one thing y'all have come together and y'all are saying in agreement?
Yeah. A lot online. So a lot of connecting online. I actually have a matchmaking coach that I work with myself. Just like you have a mentor, I have I call her coach, but it's a mentor in this space and matchmaking communities for matchmakers on LinkedIn. One thing about matchmaking is it's a very collaborative work. So if I have someone on my database that I just can't match or I don't have a person for, I can call someone that I know and say, "Hey, I have this person, like, and they're like, oh yeah, I might have somebody for them." And it's like beautiful because what I love about this work, it's about love is at the forefront of it. So we no one's competing with each other. We're not like that. It's a very collaborative and it's a very supportive community. So I love the community that I'm in. My mentor, who's super awesome. And so yeah.
And listen, if any of them want to come on the podcast, let me know. I'll gladly have them on. So, what have you learned in your time of matchmaking from the other matchmakers that you didn't know when you first got into it?
Yeah, I learned that matchmaking is also slash therapist. So that's something I'm like, oh, I'm glad I went to therapy and got some training to bring into my matchmaking because it does that I mentioned the coaching is not just matchmaking. There's coaching involved, and that coaching does feel like therapy sometimes, of which I'm like surprisingly love. I love just like talking and supporting and speaking a good word into someone. So I love that. And it also is patience. I've learned a lot. Patience has always been something I struggled with, and doing this work has really stretched me um, to be patient with people. The other thing is sales. I'm not a salesperson. Never been. My background is nonprofit, so I've always had a nonprofit job. You go to work or whatever. So and education, and so coming into this work, sales and really showing. I it's not like sales in like a sleazy way, but like really talking to people and selling your services when you first get started as a business. It's a business. That was something I had to, my mentor is very good at like teaching me, and so it's a business. It's a you're slash therapist. You have to be patient with people because when you see that match and you're like you're like but you're not listening. So it's I've been so blessed with this work that I've been doing, so I enjoy it every day. And when it's your purpose, it doesn't feel like work.
Of course, I definitely agree with that purpose part because why you think I'm almost to damn near 400 episodes of this podcast? Because it's like, hey,
Yeah.
it's that purpose, and I agree with you on being patient with people because I've learned with people they don't move on your time. There's some people they move on colored people time. I
Yes.
love my black folks, but sometimes it's like they move on colored people time. It's like you got to tell them a time that you want them there because they might show up 30 minutes after or 15 minutes after. But
Mhm.
but the one thing I've learned which help with patience is people that communicate. If you communicate, you let me know what's going on, and I'm in the game. I'm like, okay, we good.
Yeah.
I'm not tripping on you because you let me know what's going on. But there are some people that they don't communicate and they don't just you know how that goes. Now have you guys all come together like and say there's some people that y'all just couldn't find matches for and or do y'all just hold on to them until you find somebody?
Yeah, like I mentioned, if I have someone, I could reach out and say, I have a great person. Do you have someone? And you tap into your network, and if you can't find someone, you just hold on to them until until you find them. So it all depends, but sometimes it's hard, to find a match for someone. Sometimes it takes longer, then it may take a year, who knows, So, like I said, if this was easy, everybody would be married and in love. So, we all got to be patient, going back to patient and having grace with each other. Um, Back to what you were saying, kind of just our people specifically. I think that that's something I've learned, just giving us grace, the grace that we want to receive. So, oh, back to your question, sorry. So yes, it depends. If I can match them, great, I'll go into my circle. But if I can't, yeah, I have a newsletter, so I definitely, like I mentioned, the coaching part of matchmaking, so I'll check in and say, like, okay, I don't have anybody right now, but here are some places you can go. And this is something I really find that my clients really appreciate, is I'll tell you to go, like, hey, guy, girl, I saw, in your city they're having this great event. There might be some good looking people there, some quality people there. Go to that event, and I put that plug in, and hopefully they take that advice and go, and they might meet somebody, and that's a win for me. So if I can't match you, I'll definitely send you to events, give you tips. I have a newsletter with, like, encouragement, and just keep encouraging you, because it's not easy.
Yes, it's definitely not easy out here to find people, whether you got a matchmaker or you don't. So to all my people in relationships who are thinking about leaving, I need you motherfuckers to fight that thing through, because it's tough out here.
Yeah, yep, it is ghetto.
Yes, it is tough out here. The grass ain't greener on the other side. Y'all gonna be like them people that get in the transfer portal when it comes to sports. They get in the transfer portal and they can't find a new home. So, and also sometimes you might dump the person, your partner, and your partner already done found somebody, which is sad. But,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but
Hang on if you can.
yes, hang on if you can, ladies and gentlemen. This is Liquor Talk. The more you drink, the better we sound. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Shout out to everybody watching this on YouTube, and also shout out to people watching this on TikTok as well. Um, so I know you asked another question you want to talk about, which is dealing with us men, and you want to know, why are us men so guarded? I think the reason men can be guarded is because there has been so many times we've spoken up for ourselves, only to have the person kill the messenger, if you will, or try to devalue our comments, or be told over the years, be a man, be tough about it, or maybe we did open up to somebody, and then that somebody threw it in our face when they were in an argument. Because that's, sometimes I might tell you something when I'm vulnerable, but then you might get mad at me and throw it in my face months later, and I'm like, you're not supposed to use that against me in an argument because you mad at me. No, you're supposed to use that to nurture me or to show love to me. So I think that can answer a little of your question about why men can be so guarded. Is there any way else you want to explain?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was just talking to my friend, and we were talking about the same conversation, and we were talking about a male friend of ours, and she was like, we were like, yeah, he never got over that, like, fifth grade heartbreak.
Damn.
Oh,
Happens. That does happen. That does happen.
yeah. And so and then I just realized, I was like, man, like, and guys can sometimes hold on to that first heartbreak forever, and it's like, and it comes out in different ways, right? It doesn't come out the way. So I'll go back. So you've heard how, like, well, when men are like, "Oh, you're making me pay for what the other guy did." Like, I used to hear that all the time. Like, women make other men, and I'm just like, Yeah, because women have the ability to heal from relationships, or at least get through it and go back out there and put themselves back out there. But like it seems like some, and I could be wrong, and we could debate about this. It seems like some men are just like that high school heartbreak or that fifth grade heartbreak. They hold on to that sucker and they make women pay too through, like, say if you were a nerd in high school and some girl broke your heart, you've seen that like story on TV, and then now you're like, oh, the pimples are gone, you look good or whatever. Now you're dating, you're going around breaking girls hearts, right, sleeping around, lying to girls, getting them in bed, and this is a form of you making other women pay for what that one girl did. But with men, the difference seems to be it just needs to be one girl. Women, it will first heartbreak, Tommy broke your heart, okay, we got over it. Then we met Steven in college, okay, we got over it. Then we went to had a big girl job and we met this nice guy. Then we, like, we can go through it. But like, I don't know. I feel like women got a lot of flack for like, you're making another man pay, da 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 da. And I'm like, men have been doing this for eternity. It just looks different, and y'all haven't been called out.
You know,
My theory.
I feel you to that. I feel you. And it's like, I feel like some of those men didn't go through therapy. And then some of those men, they got blessed with the good looks and they got blessed with, with the people around them telling them to get over it. And I think a lot of those times those men just, they never went to therapy. And it's like,
Yeah.
and I can only speak for myself because I've had the ability to heal. I've had to learn how to heal on the fast because I've had one heartbreak after another. It just feels like one after another. And I got to a point of, you know what, it was so bad I got to laugh to keep from crying. But I say I
Mm-hmm.
can't allow it to defeat me because it's like if I allow this to defeat me, I'm probably gonna miss out on somebody. I'm probably gonna treat a woman that should be the one wrong because of what someone else did. So, and I always was never the one to jump right back out there and go get somebody. But I don't know about us. I can't speak for all men, but there's some other
Yeah.
men that they go through those little phases where they just want to just go fuck the whole city.
Mhm. Yeah. So we can agree that both people do it, and everybody needs to heal. That's another thing. Like when I do my matchmaking, I do ask like, what self development like have you done, or I love to get into that with my clients because it's important that when I um match you, that I'm just not matching someone who is hurt to go hurt other people, so that, and if you haven't tried therapy, or you don't have a pastor or mentor, or you don't read books, or whatever that self-development looks like in your life, then 4 weeks of free online therapy through BetterHelp I provide to all my clients for free, because I am a big believer in healing yourself. Because, like you mentioned earlier, hurt people, and I don't want to send anybody out there matching people who are just gonna hurt each other. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's not the goal because I would hate for them to be like, you set me up with this person and this man to hurt me, and it's like,
yeah,
and he
huh?
did this and he didn't did that. And then some women, it's like they will have a man's kid out of spite, knowing this man don't want them. Oh, because they hurt, so now I'm about to have your baby to stick it to you. I'm like, man, the hell y'all thinking?
Now, there's a YouTuber that I love, Funky Don Eva. He always has this saying where he says the quickest way to get rid of a man, for a man to leave you, is to have his baby.
That's
So a baby does
nice.
not keep a man. If anything, it's the quickest way to get him to run out the door.
Yeah,
So
and it's a stupid thing because that kid is a lifetime bond, and then it's gonna be a lifetime reminder of you really had unprotected sex with this sorry ass man. Now until that
yeah,
kid turns 18 and that kid can create a legacy for themselves, it's like that's the
but you
first thing.
still didn't get what you wanted.
Exactly. You just got his son or his daughter, and now he's around here living his best life and avoiding child support or trying to avoid you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And it's a sad world out here, you know. So, do you have male clients that you feel like can be like really guarded, and it's like you really can't get nothing out of them to help you understand them and help you find matches for them?
I think I'm gonna answer it in this way. I've been having a just like this year, seeing like a lot of resistance to even working with a matchmaker for men. I don't know if it's something about this year, but there's been a lot of like they'll talk to me to death, but it's just like, but like, fill out the form, let's have an intake. Like, they don't want to take that next step, right? It's kind of like, I do coaching as well. And when I'm working or talking to women, when they're online dating, when they say like the guy would just like text, like message them to death, but never ask on a date, or like barely talking, like just to keep the, yeah. And it's like, you don't, what are we doing here? So there's a lot of that going on where men say they want it, and then when it's time to like do the active work, they're like, it's like crickets.
You know, that should tell you right there that this man's not that interested in you. That should tell you right
Yeah.
there that maybe this man is just looking for a quick get off or whatever. He's not really that into you, because I really feel like if he's into you, you better believe he's texting you every day. You better believe he's checking in with you. He's not going to let 2 days go without y'all talking.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But here's the weird thing though, because there's sometimes we do that for a woman, and this woman leaving us on red. She just won't tell us that, hey, I'm just not that interested. So they'll just leave us on red or not return our calls or try to, and then when we do plan something, they'll stand us up, or they might actually go ghost. You know.
Yeah, I again, that's going back to that board. Like, this is how women show that they're not really actually ready to date, but they're just bored. And then the way men show that is by not planning a date, not really taking initiative to like want to spend time with her. Uh, with that, I also think there's another element of, and this is gonna be, so if it's you, just say ouch. It could just be also money is a big factor that I'm seeing. Like, men don't want to take women out on dates. So that's why they like, all they do is just have those conversations on the phone, texting on the phone, will never plan a date. And it could be he's not that interested, or he just don't got it right now. And this is just to keep you, you know what I mean, chatting. That's
So, and for the money thing, I'll say this. This is how you could test a woman. I feel like take her to a cheap spot to begin with. Don't, and that's one thing some men don't realize. You don't have to take her to some extravagant, expensive ass restaurant. If she trips about having, if the restaurant becomes too much out of your budget, and you guys split with her, and she ghosts you after, guess what? Well, that's the problem of her. She wasn't that into you. That should be your test right
Ugh.
there.
You said split?
Yeah, split, because sometimes you'll go to a pricey restaurant, you don't realize it was pricey. I
So
admit
you
I'm
should do your
guilty of it.
research.
And I learned the
Yeah, you
hard way.
should do
You
your
definitely got to do
research
your
at a
research.
restaurant, about a restaurant, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and also a date ain't hard. Sometimes you could go to the coffee shop, or you could go to an ice cream shop that's right by the water. Well, living here in Florida, there's plenty of different views of the city. There's scenic elements. There's cigar lounges. There's, even if y'all don't smoke cigars, y'all can still go get a drink, because it's a good vibe. With a mature crowd. And not a lot of kids are gonna be there, so it's like you're gonna have the mature crowd. So a date doesn't have to cost that much, fellas. And if she trips about that, then that woman ain't into you.
Mm. I agree about, with men, if you are on a budget, dating on a budget, do budget friendly things.
Mhm.
So yeah, always research the restaurant first. Make sure that, like, assume she's going to get an appetizer, two drinks, and a meal. Just assume, like and see if you can afford that, right? And she might just get one drink, but who knows? But just have enough money to pay for that. If you're going to a restaurant, but do fun things. So it could be really like if she tells you, "Oh, I like to hike in museums," and women always say that. Well, then she shouldn't mind the first date to be, if it's a nice date, hey, let's go on I know you like to hike, let's go on a hike, there's this trail. And if she's huffing and puffing about that, well, as a first date, I don't know, that could be something you might want to keep in mind, but like, there's nothing wrong with a nice a hike on a first date. Or if you I honestly think breakfast dates are underrated. Pro
Really?
tip, guys: breakfast date. I'm telling you, hire me as your coach. I'll get you there. Breakfast dates are underrated. So yes, we know women like brunch or whatever, but like a nice breakfast date on like a Sunday in a nice diner, and just say, you know what, I really want to spend time with you. My schedule's a little tight, but I have Thursday open. Would you mind just like having breakfast with me? I'd love, tell her you got something to do in the afternoon. It's Sunday. You got a meeting, that, whatever. and go on a nice diner on a breakfast date. And if y'all live close, like, I just would find it so cool to like meet up before work, and like maybe that's like a third, fourth date, like, and just go get a bagel and coffee, and just like, what, like, those things are cute. Make it cute. It's budget friendly, but she don't have to know that. That's why you're doing it. It's going to look cute. You want it to look cute and romantic.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Hey, that's a real one. But now my next question would be, how do you know if a woman's really worth it to do that? Because there's some women that, let's be honest, they ain't really worth it, and they're gonna show you that they're not worth it. Do you have to really pay attention to their conversation leading up to the date? Or do you have to, how do you figure out if this woman's like really worth it? Because a lot of times a man will be willing to take them out on dates and stuff. And personally, I look back at my time in college. I'm like, there's a lot of women I took on dates that, let's be honest, they shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have taken them on dates.
So when you say really worth it to do what? To take on a date?
Yeah, to take on a date, because it's like you don't want to. Because again, this is where men do get guarded. We don't want to waste our time, and we don't want to waste our time and the money. I feel like the money and the resources, we can get that back. It's just the time. The time I could be either sleeping or doing something else or being some other productive. I'm dedicating to you, but you're not really showing me that you're really into me.
Yeah, that's the breakfast trick. That's the, like, hey, Saturday, I would love to do something with you, but this weekend is really tight. Would you mind? I just want to spend some time with you. Maybe an hour. If you could give me an hour of your time, let's go grab some breakfast real quick. If you say that to her, and then say, like, and then next week we definitely will, I'll take you out to dinner, but we've been talking for X amount of week, and I kind of just want to get your vibe. So would you mind just having some coffee and a walk with me? And then I gotta go. I have this appointment. That. If she's not willing to do that, like that could tell you something. So that will save you some time, save you an hour. And in that hour, you have that coffee, that drink, that breakfast with her, and um, go home because you got something to do. You said you had other things. And if that vibe right there at that diner didn't tell you, okay, this is somebody I definitely want to go home, research a nice restaurant, and take her out next week. Um, or if she's just like, no, I don't want to go to a diner. I want to go to and that's where I want to go. Sorry, I'm not up for that kind of date. Then you just have to make the decision. How much do you want to get to know her? And what does that say to you? Does that say, like, is she being difficult, or is it that's just her standard and that's what she's asking for, right? Like, what she'll tell you. Some women are very honest. Like, I just don't go to places like that. I don't think that's a real date. So, and it doesn't even have to be a real date. And you can say, well, if we go to a diner, it's not a real date. Well, then say, sure, I'll take you out next week. I really want to see you this week. I really want to see your vibe, but I don't. My week is really tight, but I want to just have an hour with you and would love to just have some breakfast with you. She's not willing to do that, and then y'all go on a real date next week, you got
Hmm.
your answer.
Yeah.
And now what you do with that, if you still decide to spend your money, you have, and then find out she's not worth it, then whatever. But I think that's the thing you can do to see if she's worth it.
Oh, that's a good test right there, fellas. If y'all ain't listening right there, that is a damn good test because it's like, we've been trying to figure this thing out for years. If she's not willing to compromise on that, then she's definitely not worth it. Then.
Yeah, especially you've been talking for a week. It's all about the situation. We've been talking for like a week, and we've been vibing. I really want to see you. I don't. I want to catch a vibe with you this week. I'm busy, but I really want to. Next week, beautiful date. We got you, but if you could just come out, we could chat real quick. I think that to me, if someone said that to me, I wouldn't think broke. I would think, oh wow, this person really is just like trying to catch an hour with me in his busy schedule. You know what I mean? But now next week, come correct, fellas. Take her out on a date.
Yes, yes. Take her out on that date and make some things happen. If she shows you that she's worthy, because that little breakfast date might tell you everything you need to know about her. And
And you don't need to do nothing after that.
and don't be afraid to ask the tough questions up front, because you need to know these things because you shouldn't be finding out on the third or fourth date after you done spent X amount of dollars that she's just not that into you or she's this way, you don't agree. Yeah, y'all need to hammer out the tough questions.
What are some of the tough questions? I'm curious.
The tough questions are like, what are your intentions? Like, what do you really want from this our situation? And have you healed from your last situation? And do you feel mentally ready to be in a relationship? And what would a relationship look like with us? And what would you bring to a relationship? Because I
Are
know
you ready to answer that too?
Yeah, of course, because I know for me as a man, I'm ready to tell her, look, I'm ready to provide, protect, and to lead, and also to give you the assurances that hey, that if you need something, I'm going to be there. Unfortunately, I had an ex that took advantage of that. Because it's like I had an ex. If I hear it in her voice, she having a bad day, I'll put down whatever I'm doing, and I'll be on that bridge and head to St. Pete to go see her. Because it's like, but that's something that I've learned I gotta deal. I can't do for everybody. So.
But I mean, I don't know. Don't beat yourself up. You were just being a good boyfriend. Like,
Yeah,
that's not like a bad thing. Like, if you saw that she was, I don't know how she was using it or abusing it, but like if you saw that she was, then that's a conversation you should have had with her. And maybe
yeah,
for the next person, if you see the same signs of that person abusing it, and then that's a boundary that you got to put up. But like, don't stop being a good boyfriend, and like those are good things. Don't just be just have discernment on who you do it to or give it to. And and if you see something that looks familiar, and don't look, oh well, maybe I'm just, don't like just let it fly. Call it out and just be like, I'm getting this feeling, it's kind of like this, is that, and just like let her know there's some boundaries to that. I'll drop everything, but like, there's a boundary here, so don't not do those
yeah. Of course, not do those things. Just watch who you do them for, because I
things.
think
Yeah,
that's another reason men can be so
discernment.
guarded or so not willing to take that step because they're tired. They when they got tired of putting forth effort for people we didn't use our discernment on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed.
So, So that's it in a nutshell. I definitely hope that it answered your questions about dealing with us men. So
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
yes, and I appreciate you for coming back on the podcast again. And and what's one thing somebody should do for Valentine's Day, whether they're single, whether they're in a relationship, or they're married. What's one thing people need to do for Valentine's Day?
Listen, just love on whoever is around. Love on the people. Valentine's Day is all about love, and it doesn't have to always be romantic. It could, if you're single, love on yourself. Be happy that you're single. Listen, there's so much to do. You can go out like it's just another day. Love on your brothers, your sisters, your family. Like just show love to people and just be intentional. It's a day to just like remember. If you haven't called somebody and check in on them, do that. Show some love to your people, show some love to your family, your friends, and that's what it's all about. Just a day of showing love. So show love.
Yes, please show love this month if you have done so already. Show love to people. Show love to the ones that show love to you back. Always do that. And Ty, I want to thank you for blessing the Liquor Talk once again. The kickoff Love Month, and to kick off Black History Month, which is more
That's
important.
right. Blackness.
Yes, the blackness that needs to trump everything. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't celebrating Black History Month, if you ain't being extra black for Black History Month, I don't want to hear shit about Valentine's Day. I don't want to hear shit, nothing you got going on. You need to be being extra black for Valentine's Day. Ty, how can the people reach you if they are interested in your services?
Yeah, you can reach me on all platforms, TikTok and Instagram at Thai, the matchmaker, all one word, on TikTok and Instagram.
Well, Ty, I want to thank you again, once again, for having a drink with me on the Liquor Talk. I want to thank everybody out there for listening to this podcast. Thank you for having a drink with me. Thank you for taking time to tune into the Liquor Talk, whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts at. And shout out to everybody that's watching this on YouTube, or you're watching the clips on TikTok as well. If you got feedback or you want to come on down, you already know where we at. Follow us on Instagram at Liquor Talk Podcast. Follow us on TikTok, also at Liquor Talk Podcast, and join us on Facebook at Liquor Talk Podcast as well. Until the next time episode, remember, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, and keep things pushing. When shit gets tough, take two shots of liquor and keep it moving. Until the next episode, peace, y'all. Peace.